The latest crypto collapses, scandals, and bankruptcies are weighing heavily on digital assets as investors and traders alike lose trust in the falling tokens and the exchanges supplying them. So, should crypto still have a place in your portfolio? 401 Financial's principal and founder, Tyrone Ross, joins us now to weigh in. Tyrone, great to have you here with us today. First and foremost, I think people just want to know the answer to that. How should investors view crypto right now? Give us your perspective.
I think the key word, you said it, is investors. Those that are investors in the space and that understand it should have a very, very long-term view. Obviously, they should have a very high tolerance for risk. They should understand the volatility. But I think one thing that's important here is for anyone that is involved in this space right now, there's just something called a terms of service agreement that you sign with any of these companies. Try reading that. Even the best investors in the world do that.
And so, Tyrone, it's Julie here. It's good to have you. Are you recommending to folks that they get into crypto right now, or are you sort of letting them take the lead if they come to you and express interest?
Yeah, so I'm a bad proxy because I'm a self-proclaimed crypto hippie. The folks that come to me already own it. So I think it's just providing some guidelines around it and then getting them to diversify away from it so much. But those that are coming now, I think is very simple of just having a conversation of taking them back to square one. You stick to the conversation around Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of the potential investment cases there if it makes sense for them. But outside of that, I think everything else is off the table right now.
What type of guidelines do you recommend?
So I call them a core four, right? You have an investor policy statement, right? If you're an advisor or just someone in general, you could have that is just some general rules around your investing principles and policies that you're going to follow personally. The second is your risk tolerance. If you can't stomach a lot of risk, this isn't for you. But again, the ability to identify risk, manage that risk, and diversify away from it. And then the other one is just your financial plan. What are your goals? If you have short-term goals, crypto probably isn't for you. We have long-term goals, a long-term strategy, and something that you feel like this is core part of you helping you achieve those goals, fantastic. If not, don't touch it. And then the last part now, which is not necessarily an issue now, but it will become a big issue, is estate planning around crypto assets. Because again, if something happens to you, my mother still calls Bitcoin a big nickel. So if I can't get my family and friends to understand that, it makes the estate planning part of it very difficult.
Let's talk about tax planning as well. For a lot of hodlers or even holders of crypto, they're going to have to decide, whether they decide to hold on to or going into the next year or sell it prior to the next year. There's still a massive loss that many probably are going to have to report for their taxes. What is the best way to go about doing that?
Again, I think to get educated, if we're just sticking with Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's considered property, right? As of right now, there's no wash sale rule, meaning that you can sell your Bitcoin and you can buy it right back. So you can take that loss. In stocks, obviously, it's not like that. You have to wait 30 days or buy, something that is similar. But those are key components of folks just understanding the basics here of what you can do. So I know you hear a lot of proponents of dollar cost averaging into the space, but a lot of people really still don't know there is no wash sale rule. You can sell, you can buy back, you can harvest those losses. This is exactly why you should get educated in space. Speak to folks that have some traditional finance experience, because some of the old rules still do apply here.
Tyrone, I have to ask, given that everything that's happened, including, FTX aside, just the price action, right? What still gives you confidence in crypto, even over the longer term?
Well, I don't make any, bones of the fact that I'm very bullish, but I'm on the ground floor building a company myself. I speak to a lot of the founders and folks that are really building the picks and shovel infrastructure plays. But my personal reason is this, and if there's a camera somewhere, zoom in right here. Crypto, right, has one inarguable use case. Every day that the Bitcoin blockchain survives, financial access is provided to billions globally. That has got lost in all this FTX, SBF nonsense. It is inarguable. If you look at the studies, even here in the US, those that make $50,000 or less, 12% of those people, this is from a federal government study, 12% of those use crypto to transact. As we sit here right now, we still don't have a real-time payment system, right? Japan has had it since the 70s. They're saying we're going to get fed now. So I'll end by saying this. If crypto or Bitcoin or blockchain or all these different marketing terms that folks are using, if it did nothing else, it shined this bright light in the corner that said, hey, the existing financial system isn't fair, equitable, or inclusive. Every day that Bitcoin survives, that changes. So to me, that is the biggest part of it. And I think as the use cases and we bring more people into the space, if they can transact cheaply and quickly, even if it just means we reintroduce traditional finance to a better way, to me, that is worth every dollar that goes into it.
Tyrone, as someone who's bullish on Bitcoin or cryptocurrency more broadly, do you believe that the comments that we've heard from Sam Bankman-Fried thus far have been authentic? And if one person can shatter the trust in cryptocurrency, what does that say more broadly about adoption internationally or institutionally?
I will say this. You should believe nothing that comes out of his mouth. I personally am very disappointed that he is continuing to be given a platform to speak at all. And then I think, yes, you are exactly right. If one person could be anointed to be the face of what we are doing, that's a problem. And it goes against the whole ethos of what this is about. But he was anointed and appointed. And you won't find anybody before this in the space that didn't really think that he was like the poster child, myself included. But ultimately, if someone shows their card to just be a horrible human being and have lack of respect for humanity and people, I don't care what industry that is, that person needs to be removed and they should have never been put there in the first place. But that is not an indictment on the technology and the people that are working very hard to build this technology and bring it to millions of people. And that should not be lost because he's just a terrible human being.
Tyrone Ross, principal and founder of 401 Financial. Really appreciate the insights this morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.